there's quite a lot of people in business that that I really admired, and for lots of different reasons. Obviously, Richard Branson, a really well-known name, but there's lots of entrepreneurs that I really admire. Alan Sugar, Peter Jones, a lot of the guys who have made some of the really cool brands, but people don't necessarily know their names. You've got Yo Sushi and Innocent Drinks, and those guys I admire for different reasons. I'm not saying that I want to be like Peter Jones, but there are elements of what he's done in business that I really admire, and I'd like to try and bring into my business. So yeah, you have to look at these guys who've done it really well, and think, well, I'd like to do that, and I really liked what they did there. I really liked how they treated their team. I really liked how they really worked their brand. I really liked how they associated with this other brand, and that moved them forward. And it's important to read these autobiographies and look up all this information. The same way as you research a project before you get into a project, you need to look at people that have done it well before and think, what did they do?
For us, there was a huge challenge early on in trying to enter the market at the top end with no brand awareness. So for us, it was very, very important that we got other people to endorse the claims we were making about the chocolate. And very, very early on, there were people like Chloe Dutry-Russo, for example, who's ex-Fortnum and Mason chocolate buyer, runs a chocolate academy in Paris, has written a book, Chocolate Gourmet, which is kind of the Bible of the industry. And we did things like, for example, sent her some chocolate. And when she came back and said, this is really interesting, I need to come and see you when you were onto something. But we also had a lot of support from people like Mark Greenaway, who's cooked with our chocolate regularly. And he's been such a good supporter. And again, to get somebody like Mark early on saying to us, this is good, was so reassuring for us. And he's used it on BBC Great British Menu. He used it at a banquet for dignitaries at the Olympics. He recently used it on Sunday brunch it was. So people like Mark and Chloe, their feedback has been really, really important to us.
Yeah, my business partner that I went in with, I was with him for about a year, and I bought him out very amicably, and we still chat and pass each other business, which is great. Definitely don't burn any bridges. That's a good lesson. Don't burn any bridges.
No matter how tough things get.
Yes, definitely. You never know when you might need to call on someone and throw each other some work.
Was that a natural progression that you bought him out? Was that part of the plan, or did it just happen?
It was always the plan. I wasn't expecting to happen quite so soon, but that's sort of the way it went, really. But yeah, I think as things have, in the last couple of years, with the developments of the trailer, which is what I went to Sporting Chance for, I've been introduced to a lot more people in various public sector forums, really, and everyone's been very helpful. So I think, an appreciation definitely for that.
I think the key influencers are listening to people in the golf industry who are suffering the pains of the lack of children coming into the game of golf. So listening to golf professionals whose income streams have reduced as a result of the decline of the game of golf. So being able to have an impact on that. Listening to golf coaches being very frustrated about not having enough children come into their environment. So having a passion to try and resolve that particular challenge. And ultimately the kids, watching and listening to kids not really getting much enjoyment or fulfilment out of golf, that was the true inspiration to try and produce a product and therefore a solution that would help them enjoy golf and make the game of golf joyful rather than a bit of a chore.
I guess that many of the people that have influenced me or more supported me have been a number of business people that I've worked with. So I'm part of Entrepreneurial Spark, and that's been a fascinating programme to be on. That's been really great to be with many people at the same stage as me, starting up a business from many different fields and with many different ideas. To take part in that course has been great support network, and I guess given me a great deal of strength in terms of what I'm doing and how to keep going with that and to understand each stage of the business. you know, if you do have any concerns or worries, you can go to an enabler, a mentor, you can speak to them and they can reassure you. I've got really strong mentors as well that I've worked with in finance and in retail. They've been fantastic because they're often people who've been in the industry or the business world for quite a long time. So they've got a real, they've got a lot of experience and can be really, really helpful.
And how did you link up with those people?
So again, that's been through a combination of Business Gateway, Scottish Enterprise, Sport and Chance, and also through Entrepreneurial Spark. So I've been very fortunate. I've had a great team of people right from the start, from Mountain Bike Scotland, from Sport and Chance, as I say, from Business Gateway, and just a group of people who I meet up with very, quite regular, and we discuss the different stages of the business, and they offer their insight into it, the input, and it helps to move things forward. And you can contact them if you're having a tough time and get their support, really. So.
Yeah, I think, there has. Paul, my co-founder, he and I are complete opposites. I'm extroverted, he's introverted. We have very different ways of working, but Paul has influenced me. I'm kind of out there, and he's sitting there going, well, what's the financial return on that particular thing? And I think that has been a really positive balance between the two of us, and I think that's worked really well. And I think, as if I was saying to somebody who's starting a business, if you are starting a business, have somebody that you can if it's not a co-founder, then somebody close who you can bounce decisions off, who will give you an honest answer. And if they've got a stake in the business, that's even better. But there are other people I've worked with over the course of the last 10, 15 years or so who are great counsel and really good to go back to and just sit down and just talk to about what you're trying to achieve. And as long as they give you honest answers, I think then that's a really useful thing as well. So.
And have you found those people willing to help?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've never had anyone turn around and say, sorry, haven't got time or whatever. It's usually done over a social occasion or maybe over a beer or a curry or something. But they have always, these people, and I think that's inherent in who they are. They're people that have either employed me in the past or, kind of wanting to see success and help me succeed. So it's a very positive experience, that. So, and I want to try and do that myself in terms of return that to other people who are looking to start their own business or just progress in business. So.
The big names, Richard Branson's, it's been absolutely fantastic to see what he's achieved coming from nothing really and building up so many successful companies in so many different industries. Steve Jobs is another obvious one as well, who's just a complete visionary and managed to turn around so many markets. It's been incredible. But aside from the business world, I would say Will Smith is actually very inspirational because his attitude is just, I think it reflects success and hard work and determination. So again, if I find myself feeling really low or down, I'm straight on YouTube checking out his videos, and he sums it up really, really well. So he's fantastic for that. Definitely Will Smith, big fan.